Pilot planned a marriage proposal no one had ever seen before. He secretly carved a message into a 50-acre field with letters nearly 200 feet tall, meant to be read from the sky.
Thought how fun it would be to do something unique, and a private pilot.
And years later, their love story is still growing.
My husband grew up in a farm in Kenosha County, and we've been married for over 33 years, and he, among other things, has his private pilot's license because the farm was large enough. They would often do flying around to different counties. And so one night he asked me to go for a ride before we had dinner, and I really didn't think anything of it, but his way of proposing to me was he had written in the field, "Melanie, will you marry me?" in 200-foot tall letters, where you could actually see it from airplanes going to the respective airports in the area. And so that was his initial, he called it his first dirt-based proposal. And we've been happily married ever since.
So, Gary, do you want to share your side of what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you know who your true love is, and that was the case here. And I had thought how fun it would be to do something unique, and a private pilot had a small plane, and that was the genesis of it. And it worked out because the spring of the year was busy farming at the time, and with my father and brother, and it just turned out that I had enough time, and I had coordinated with Melanie to come down and pop the question. So it all worked out.
So how did you get her to see it?
So the farm I grew up on actually was large enough that we had a small airstrip on the farm. Mm-hmm. And I told her that I'd like to take her out to dinner down in Kenosha, and where the farm's located. And she said yes, of course. And so we're going to do a little short flight around Kenosha County. And so we took off, and of course, from the ground level, you really couldn't see the lettering. It was a little flight up, I think, over Union Grove, and then we swung back around at an altitude where you could read the letters. And it was pretty obvious. I tilted the plane to the side so she could see the lettering, and she recognized it and was pretty speechless.
Yes, I was completely speechless. And then I said yes, of course.
So were you suspicious? Did you think he was up to something?
The only thing that I noticed is for the weeks prior, he kept on checking the ground and kicking up the ground and looking at the texture and the color of the ground. I'm like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And later on, he told me that he needed to have enough contrast mm-hmm. in the dirt so that the letters would stand out. And it had to be just, the soil had to be just the perfect consistency. Wow. That was the only thing. But otherwise, I was completely surprised.
True, incredible stories.
Yes.
And yeah, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Yes.
I grew up in a family where we spent a lot of time at my grandparents' home, where they had beautiful gardens that they tended. And then my parents also continued the tradition. My husband and I have owned this property for 25 years. He grew up on a farm, and we were doing some more traditional farming when about 20 years ago I told him that I'd be happy if he planted the entire farm to flowers instead of any of the other crops that he had been growing. And he surprised me one year. We were driving out to Colorado to attend a family wedding, and he had secretly planted a whole field of sunflowers to surprise me. So when we got back, they were actually blooming.
Wow.
And it just was amazing. Not only were we enjoying it, but people started stopping by our farm, pulling over the side of the road. They wanted to take pictures, they wanted to cut them. And we realized, well, maybe this is something that other people could share the joy in as well. And so that's sort of how we got started with the farm.
That is another story. Well, my true love loves flowers, and sunflowers were an idea that we came up with just for our own enjoyment. And I just planted more because I knew she would love them, and that's how that started.
And how did you keep that a secret?
We were on a trip, and so they weren't fully in bloom. And by the time we got back from our trip, the whole field was in full bloom with sunflowers.
So how did you manage to time it so it would bloom when you got back? I mean, that
It just happened.
A lot of stars, lined up.
The stars and planets lined up. Yes, we knew. Sunflowers are a pretty large plant when they near maturity, and we knew that before our trip that we would have sunflowers. But I guess what wasn't known is I had told Melanie that we had soybeans planted in the same field, and I had told Melanie that I accidentally had killed all the sunflowers with a soybean spray. And much to her surprise, when we got back, there was a blooming field of sunflowers. So.
So how many acres?
So this is a 40-acre farm. We have a variety of crops, not just the sunflowers that you see, but wildflower gardens for the pollinators. We have sweet corn that we pick and sell. We have over 2 acres of raspberry bushes, which will be coming into season shortly. And then a variety of other flowers like zinnias and other flowers that are friendly for the pollinators.
Beautiful garden.
Well, thank you. We enjoy it. We get a lot of people out here not just to pick the flowers, but to walk through them, to bring them some peace, and also a lot of photography. Whether it's senior pictures, we've had weddings here, people that just love nature and want to capture that on film.
And what is the name of this farm?
Land and Sunflower Farm.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's a beautiful farm, and I enjoyed touring it.
Thank you for visiting.